let's get to the Browns hosting the Jets, because Cleveland can clinch a playoff berth with a win. No Amari Cooper in this one for the Browns, and the Browns are going to take an early lead. All right, just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Travis Simeon throws over the middle, but the pass is picked off by Ronnie Hickman. And
Ronnie Hickman is not on Trevor Simeon's team.
No, it's picked off.
Yeah, the other team.
Yeah. Like, thank you.
What did Joe just say there?
Something
Bad words.
Probably not. Yeah. All right, the Browns go on to win it 37-20. We got two legendary quarterbacks right there. Now, the Browns kind of abandoned the play-action game after Nick Chubb's season-ending injury, but have been using it at the fourth highest clip since Joe Flacco became the team starter in Week 13. Now, Flacco has been doing work in that regard with an NFL-high 6 touchdown passes off play action since Week 13 and averaging nearly 20 yards per completion in that situation, which also leads the league in that time. Now, Mina, what has impressed you most about Flacco?
Everything. No, it's not surprising that Joe Flacco can make some of these throws. He's always had a cannon. What's surprising to me, watching him right now, is that he can make these throws on the move. I mean, you saw it with the under center play action, the boot game, but also scrambling and hitting forward on that touchdown. Guys, this is where he ranks when throwing on the run over the last 5 games. This is crazy. I mean, not only does it inspire me as a fellow 38-year-old to want to hit the treadmill more, but it's also really important because this Browns offensive line is significantly injured, and a lot of these scrambles and throws on the run are by necessity and so important to this offense moving forward. So the fact that he can do it, I don't really have the words, because frankly, when I watch him week after week, I'm astounded by it.
What's the fastest speed-wise you've actually gotten on the treadmill at?
It's as fast
like
as Joe
7.
Flacco get out the pocket.
When I say on the move, that's minimum 8, by the way. That's,
okay.
All right.
So when I those stats where Joe Flacco,
okay,
speedy.
They're going the same speed.
That's pretty speedy. That's pretty speedy. What about you?
we're the same age.
I think last night you saw the depth and diversity of this offense, both in people and scheme. Going into the game with no Coop against their 3 top tackles, or 3 out of the top 4, and then their 13 personnel, the 1 back, 3 tight end stuff. This is kind of what Mino was intimating with the play action pass and Joe on the move with the perfect ball. So I think that's one of the more interesting aspects too, is how much Kevin Stefanski has allowed this offense to kind of open up a little bit and be so much more than just a singular player or singular personnel grouping. It's been forced in many ways because of the injury, and you're seeing it thrive.
Joe doing his thing, man. I like the crossers last night, Dio. I like the way you just pointed out how they work the middle of the field on the check down, but also just the crossers. Joe made one over C.J. Mosley's hand that was beautiful. But they've gotten back to, we've seen this iteration of Cleveland before. I know y'all remember us talking about this 2-3 years ago. This team wants to run the football and hammer you in play action. That's when Dan thought Baker Mayfield was going to Canton, because he was having a successful year. So now you get Joe Flacco, who understands, like, the arm strength is still there, the ability to place the football. There's one caveat though, fellas, and MK, yes. I get nervous when he put the ball in harm's way, man. And you start talking about the playoffs, it take 1 or 2 of them things to completely change the outcome.
And they got the defense to cover up on it, Marcus. Like,
my man got 10 touchdowns against man to 1 interception. He got 3 touchdowns to 7 picks against zone. Shout out to Bees, our researcher, for sending us that, because it was some last night where I was like, Joe, what the hell are you doing? Now his players are bailing him out, and according to Dan Orlovsky, you got to take those chances with the football if you want to have explosive plays, which I agree with. So they've turned in his favor. I just think about the small margin of error that you have when you get into the playoffs with those type of plays. That's the only thing that gives me uncomfortable.
Hey man, Joe Flacco playing with house money. Joe Flacco was trying to beat people to carpool. He was the first person in carpool looking back at Diane and Sally and saying, I bet you won't beat me to soccer practice either, Sally. That's what Joe Flacco was doing a few weeks ago. And so now he has an opportunity to be reborn in this game. right? Like this man has been baptized in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. He feels a certain rebirth that you can't coach, right? You can't teach that. And that's why he's willing to push the football down the field. That's why Joe Flacco is willing to take those chances. And Marcus, you're right. If you extend this over a season, he throw like 30 interceptions. But Joe Flacco, don't trip about tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. This ain't Annie. For him, the sun ain't coming out tomorrow. Joe Flacco is taking advantage of this opportunity, and it's making him a better player. He's not trying to prove to anyone that he could be the guy. He's trying to show you he can. This is this team, bro. This team has an opportunity to be in the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, they are the AFC's dark horse team to be a Super Bowl contender. I'm letting you. Nobody want to play him.
I agree with that.
If he throw a pick, guess what? So
we got another one. He'll go get it back.
No tomorrow, so
I don't know a Diane or a Sally.
No, you just got to say YOLO at this point. But
YOLO.
But Joe Flacco's run.
Dan, you grew up in Connecticut. You wouldn't know a Diane. You might know a Sally. You wouldn't know a Diane, though.
I happen to know both.
You grew up in Connecticut.
I know both. I grew up in New Hampshire, though, so anything can happen in our tiny but mighty state. I am, yes. Okay. Well, look, Joe Flacco, I just want to say it's not bad for a guy who spent the first 3 months of the season on the couch. But let's head to the Domino's pre-game headquarters to talk about a key this week for some of those wild card contenders. Marcus, here are you. Where do you feel with the Colts facing the Raiders?
Look, I think, first of all, the Colts have to be good on first down. You don't want to let Max Crosby and this group get going. Antonio Pierce has the Las Vegas Raiders playing out of their mind right now. And the Indianapolis Colts have to make sure that they can protect the football by handing it off and give Gardner Minshew clear opportunities to make plays downfield. We saw this Las Vegas Raiders defense turn a pick six into a touchdown against Kansas City, and then we saw that pass rush start to get after Patrick Mahomes while that defense made him hold the ball. The Colts need to stay in their same vein. Shane Steichen has done a phenomenal job. Protect the football, implement the run game, and give them some open looks.
Yeah, the Bills are obviously the favorites against New England, but they really can't overlook this team, this defense in particular. The Bills have shown us this season, especially near the end of the season, rather, how multiple they are, how good they are running the football. To me, though, this is a game where Stephon Diggs needs to be a big factor, in part because the Patriots are very good in run defense, in part also because Stephon Diggs has been kind of quiet lately, and they need to get him going for the playoffs because they will face different matchups. In order to take advantage of some of them, they need their number one wide receiver to be a number one.
For the Houston Texans this week, C.J. Stroud is back as they face the Titans. He's been gone out for 2 weeks, clearing concussion protocol. He hasn't had an opportunity to truly play without Tank Dell. How is he? How does he feel? Does he fit right back in? And can he get this pass game going that we saw struggle without him? We saw Case Keenum. We've also seen Davis Mills. And it showed you how much they rely on their young rookie passer and how great he actually has been.
Yeah, Pittsburgh versus Seattle, and really Pittsburgh coming off of, with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, their best pass game performance in a long time. They got George Pickens, who had a rough week when it came to his commitment level being questioned. Big plays, and they forced the football to him down the field. Can they try to do that again? I don't know if there's going to be so many shots down the field, but can they work the middle of the field or the second level passing game versus Seattle's defense to keep themselves in the playoff picture?
Going to be an interesting yet highly entertaining weekend. All right, up next,